Welcome to Keeping Secrets, hosted by Julia Baum and Sabrina Tropper.
We're two licensed therapists here to give you an insider's perspective on therapy in today's modern world.
Whether you're a therapy goer, you've never been to therapy, or you have experience in the field, this podcast is for you.
We thank you for listening. Subscribe to Keeping Secrets to never miss an episode, and we hope you enjoyed today's show.
We're back after a couple weeks break in which Sabrina has seen some of her clients in person for either the first time in many years or the first time at all.
Yeah.
And we're picking up from our last conversation about telehealth versus in-person therapy and our experiences with both. So Sabrina went back into the office for the first time in a long time. And now we're going to dig into how that experience went.
Exactly. Thanks so much, Julia. So just to be clear, I have not been back in person with clients since before the pandemic of 2020. So that makes 5 years. I was pretty nervous going in and excited.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, yeah, let's start there. Okay. So you're at the office, you're waiting for your first in-person client of the day.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind and how are you feeling?
Well, so it's funny because first of all, I had some trouble like finding the office door. Like I had been to that office location before just to like pick up mail, but there was like a lot of construction on that day. So I like couldn't find the office door. So I got there early and then was running around and spent 10 minutes just getting settled, like just finding how to get into the building.
Yeah.
And I think some of that was just nerves too, like just feeling frantic. And then I get there, I settled in, and it kind of came back to me pretty quickly, actually. I was like, okay, here's the chair. I moved it around a little bit. And I was like, oh yeah, this is how I used to sit in my old office. This is where they're going to sit. I'm so curious to see like where they choose to sit, where if, that whole thing that you don't get online because you're already sitting in front of the computer.
Yeah.
So
by the
anyway.
way, I still have nightmares about like not being able to get into the office or like not being there at the start of the session or like the key not working. I don't know. Like, I've had a few of those actual experiences in real life and they have like haunted me.
Oh my gosh. Not to derail this conversation, but I would love to hear about those experiences and maybe our audience would be interested because that's scary. You know?
I empathize with the stress of like, I need to get into this office.
It's funny because thank you. It's funny because that was my fear, and it was like, oh, of course on the first day I'm back, I'm like, where's the entrance? And I kept being like, I've been here before. What is going on? But there were all these construction things happening, and it's like kind of a complicated building. But once you find it, it's like no big deal,
right?
But I just haven't been there in a really long time. So anyway, so I get
in the office and you arranged.
Yeah. I was arranged. And then I just kind of didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, okay, I have 3 minutes. Usually in this time, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll send an extra email. I've got time to do this. I've got time to do that. And then I just switch my screen and click onto the session, or I like review my notes or whatever. But this time I was just like, okay, I'll review my notes. And that didn't help my nerves or anything. I was like, oh my goodness, are they gonna, I kept thinking, it was just like overthinking, typical sort of anxious thoughts. Like, are they going to hate the office? Is it going to be uncomfortable? Or are they going to judge it? Am I going to be like weird and awkward? Like all those kinds of like sort of social anxiety-ish types of things. And then I opened the door and it was really great because we have a rapport already. And it was like, you know, they were smiling, they were excited to be there. I mean, excited is maybe the wrong word when you're coming in to talk about heavy stuff, but but it
Mhm.
was a different presence that they brought, I think, into the room physically.
Mhm.
And then, like I said, it just like came back to me,
Mhm.
I think.
So was it like riding a bike, or did you feel like
Yeah.
rusty, or
Yeah, I'd say it was like riding a bike, but rusty in the sense of like it's been 5 years, so I've developed so many other clinical skills since then.
Mhm.
But then putting them into practice in person is like that's kind of like it's like a 2.0 upgrade kind of thing. So,
That's how I felt when I went back
yeah.
to in person. It wasn't
Is
like
that how you felt?
jumping back to where I left off. It
Yeah.
was like a new chapter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you feel the same in the sense of like in one way it kind of was like riding a bike, like you knew kind of remembered what to do, but
Yes, but like better. It was like getting on like a better bike or something.
yeah, yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. 'Cause it wasn't like everything's new. I'm, learning how to do like bookkeeping for my business and this and that and like
Mhm.
you know, ins and outs of what goes on behind the scenes of your actual sessions. Now it's like all that stuff is rote. Yeah, there are changes and updates and stuff, but the actual therapy itself is the easier part. Well,
Mhm. You're
it's
like
the
more
yeah.
confident in it
Yeah.
now, like more embodied with
Yes.
it. Mhm.
Yeah, and I think I'm happy to say that as soon as my client kind of chose their seat, most of that nervous energy kind of dissipated.
Mhm. That's great.
Mostly.
Yeah.
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 Was that the same for you too when you went back or
Well, uh well, I'm thinking of like two different chapters of going back. There was like I think I
Mm,
mentioned that the time I went back. I don't think I said this on the podcast. When I went back for like a week and saw former clients that I had seen in person, and
yeah.
then like years went by and I didn't see anyone in person again. And then when I went back, it was only with brand new people that I had never seen in person.
Was that a conscious
Um,
choice
well,
on your
that's because
part?
I moved.
Oh, right.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
sorry.
Yes.
um, so yeah, like before I moved from New York to California, I told everyone I'm going to like have a week at the office if you do want to come in
Yeah,
person or you know, did that and then I moved and then I was fully online for a
right,
couple years and then started taking on new people that were like from scratch, like new in
right.
the office. So wait, sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, well, we were talking, I think, before just about what it was like to be back in
Oh,
person for the
like
first
it
time.
feels like back but better.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
and that you just kind of oh, you like just kind of get back into the like you the whole like self-awareness of like now we're in
yeah,
person like kind of disappears and you're
yeah,
just there.
yeah. You're just there and
Yeah.
you adjust really fast.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's where we were.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And I will say, like, there is something that's missing when you're online. And I was just noticing that,
Mhm.
yesterday and today when I started back up online again. Just like, I really can't see this person from like the head and shoulders on down. And that's a lot of
Mhm.
information missing, you know, even
Mhm.
though, that is mostly where you're focusing anyway. Actually, no,
Yeah.
like in person, I'm looking at the whole body to see like where are the, are there anxious tics? Is this person like are they tapping their foot like, you know?
Well,
It
that
yeah.
makes me think I mean the format of virtual therapy is I mean we jumped into it out of necessity for the most
Yeah.
part. And before that, like I think that, any of these major platforms that you would use were like built for more like business meetings, and you kind of
Yeah.
only need to see the face. So I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking like,
Yeah.
should therapy that's done online be like pulled way back, like computers on the other side of the
Oh.
room so you can like see the whole
No, that's
person?
a really good question. Honestly, yes. But
I mean, because like
I don't
we're
know.
just sort of following a format that was created for a different industry, you know?
That is such an amazing point that you just made. We are. This is not, it's not designed for us. It's not designed for
Uh-huh.
healthcare workers.
Right.
I don't know how doctors and like nurse practitioners do it either, where they're like just seeing you from, I mean,
Uh-huh.
with certain things, probably you can't. I know
Uh-huh.
for certain things you can't do online completely, but for us, you can.
Yeah. Well, I do remember like pretty early into the switch over to like fully um telehealth. I
Mhm.
And I did feel kind of like a disconnect, and I was trying to think like, how can I help people like feel more connected to me? And then I was
Yeah.
actually considering like, should I like put a bunch more of my stuff behind me or something, just to like
Yeah.
create a more of an experience? Because like at the office you see like, oh, there's her
Yeah.
books, and there, like you kind of
Totally.
get like a feel. And then here it's just like there's like almost nothing behind me.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so you really like it hit you how much had been missing that you didn't even realize.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing that I am taking away at this point in time. And I do just want to say quickly that I haven't fully like I think it hasn't fully sunk in all of the differences. Like I'm still kind of processing what that looks like, and I'd like to try it again to really get
Mhm.
more data, for lack of a better word, or just to see experientially what that's like. But yeah, I think that you're absolutely right. There were things that I had just forgotten about, which is like
Mhm.
the way a person holds their body is really important. And you can see some of that from the shoulders on up, but there's a whole that's like 75% of the rest of that person's like personhood that or just
Mhm.
person that is missing
Mhm.
on the
Mhm.
screen visually anyway, you
Mhm.
know. And that matters. I still am pretty blown away by how effective virtual therapy can be, to be honest. I think it's very, very effective. It's very helpful, but there's something missing.
Yeah. So, do you think that's something? Do you think that's something missing detracts from the therapeutic experience? Or is it just that if you have that something missing, it's like an enhanced element on top of something that's already like sufficient?
Oh, okay. Let me see if I understand your question. So, are you wondering if it feels like there is something missing from virtual therapy, like online therapy, or
Well, because we're saying two different things. We're saying virtual therapy is highly effective.
yeah,
And then we're also saying, but there's something missing that can only be achieved through meeting in person. So
yeah.
I'm wondering, like, from your perspective, on a level of like how effective it can be from 1 to
Mm,
10, is it like virtual therapy is a 9 out of 10 and you can only get to a 10 out of 10 if you're in person? Or is it like virtual therapy is a 10 out of 10 and in person is like 11 out of 10?
right. Is it like the cherry on top?
Right. Or is it like, yeah, is it, okay.
Take your time.
Yeah, is it the cherry on top that's just like nice to have but don't need to have?
Right.
Or is it like there is an essential element that is truly missing from virtual?
Great question. I think it depends, like most things in
It depends
therapy.
if you like cherries.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Well, to that point, like it depends. Are you a person that really prefers being in person with people, or do you just kind of like not care as much? Which, most people have a bit more of a preference for in person, I think, is what I'm noticing. Um, I could be wrong with that, but that's sort of what I've noticed. I think that I think there is a little bit of something missing. I think I'm closer to like the 9 out of 10 for virtual therapy, even though, or 9.5. I don't know if I can even put it on a numerical scale like
Mm-hmm.
that because it's dimensional in essence, right? Like that's it. It's the dimensional
Yeah.
like presence of the person that's literally in a room with you versus, you know, using this technology to bring as much of them as we can, but it's really only a flat screen 2D picture of them plus audio. So, and there's a lot of nuance that can be picked up through audio and visual and stuff, but there's, like I said, the whole other part of the body. So I think it depends on the modality of therapy that you're doing, like different types of
Mm-hmm.
trauma therapy versus different types of CBT maybe, or obviously biofeedback can only be done in person. Anyway, I think it depends. But if we're talking about broad generalizations, overall, I think in person is slightly better.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of the time can just be like the cherry on top, but I think it's
Mm-hmm.
slightly better. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there are advantages too to online that you can't get in person. So that's all I want to say.
What advantages are on the top of your list?
Okay, so the top advantage I think is the most obvious, which is that it completely gets rid of commute time and makes it more accessible in that way. There's no commute. It's very easy to just do from home or wherever you need to do, or wherever you need to take your therapy session from. But at the same time, you also need to ensure that the client has to feel comfortable in their space, respectively,
Mm-hmm.
and has to ensure themselves that it's a private space. You don't, like as a therapist, get to control that. They have to make sure that they're sufficiently comfortable and in a private setting.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing I think is honestly for some people that struggle with a little bit of social anxiety, or a lot
Right.
of it, I actually think it takes the pressure off to have it virtually and
Yeah.
creates a little bit of distance so that they can maybe just
Yeah.
be themselves a little easier for at least a period of time.
Yeah. And I think on that type of note, I think people who may be very, very depressed
Mm,
and find it, too big of a hurdle to get out and go to
mhm.
a therapy office, it becomes a lot more accessible to say, hey, all you have to do
Yeah,
is open up your computer and, you're there. It
totally.
takes away some barriers in a lot of ways to get
Yeah, or
started.
exactly. Or like a really busy parent that works full time,
Mm-hmm.
or just a busy person that
Mm-hmm.
can only
Mm-hmm.
fit it in. Like, but absolutely for someone that's really depressed or someone with agoraphobia,
Mm-hmm.
um, or social phobia or social
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, all of those things actually it creates a bit of an advantage. That said, I don't know when that advantage ends because at some point the goal should be that that person does want to get up and get out of the house. Whereas the
Right.
person that's like really busy may not have control over that. And that's maybe
Mm-hmm.
not the goal
Mm-hmm.
with them.
So, yeah, these are interesting points that there's no like
Yeah.
universal, this one is better for everyone.
Right.
But I think as a therapist, I don't know, I feel like I can connect with people both ways.
Hmm.
Um,
Same here.
but yeah, there is more of that like experiential kind of like, I don't know, this like humanistic
Yeah.
element of being in person, like just even like seeing how someone might like lean in versus lean
Totally.
back and how that like colors what they're saying.
Yeah. And that
Mhm.
makes me think of like different clients choose different spots on the couch to sit on. Like some of them choose to sit a little further versus a
Mhm.
little closer.
Mhm.
What does that say about how they're feeling or if they're just guarded or not like all of those things, are so important.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe it's fair to say it's a little richer in terms of like the in the nonverbal and the intangible that like, as a
Yeah.
therapist, you can like kind of get these little insights into the client. Like,
Yeah.
for example, some people might like move the pillow and then like apologize for moving the pillow or like ask if it's okay to move the pillow or it's
Yeah.
just like you get little bits of their like outside
Yeah.
persona, you know?
It's more
Like
information. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, or people that will like put their glass of water right in front of the clock that I'm monitoring our time, like these things
Yeah.
give information.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're absolutely right. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like richer. And for
Mhm.
people that do more experiential therapies like somatic therapy and like myself for EMDR, as well, that that changes things a little bit. You know, certainly a huge, I think, drawback of virtual EMDR for myself is internet connectivity. Like if the
Mm.
connectivity drops, and this has happened to me so many times, and
Ooh.
like it's the worst thing, especially in an
Oh,
EMDR session because
no.
it's very structured and it's like moment to moment matters, right? And so if
Mhm.
the connection drops or it freezes and then the person's like stuck processing. So I just
Mhm.
don't do EMDR when there's a poor connection because it's not
Yeah.
safe, I think. What about you? Like with your work, um, is there any particular element in it that you've noticed, maybe specific to REBT or something that kind of gets interrupted?
Um, you mean like if a connection drops or something?
Yeah, or just like what's the difference that you've noticed from
Yeah.
virtual to
I
in
mean, I think it
person?
just any kind of connectivity issue, it just sort of
Yeah.
interrupts the moment, but that can
Yeah.
also happen in real life. Actually, like a week or two
Hmm.
ago, somebody like opened my office door while I was with a
Oh,
client. I have no idea who it was. I like didn't see I didn't see anything. I just like I heard the door open and then I like saw it like shut and anyway, I mean, you can't
yeah.
like fully remove these things in
Yeah.
person either, but it really does like kind of take you out of the moment. You could kind of
Yeah.
lose focus, lose the thread, or just, especially if a client is like kind of going down like some kind of mental journey
Mhm.
and it just like snaps you back to the here and now, which it's like hard to get back to where I mean, the here and now is
Yeah.
usually most important in the way I work. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think the connectivity thing, somehow I always end up feeling guilty, even if it's on their end. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've noticed well, that's interesting too, because like, from a clinical perspective, my mind is going to like, oh, you're in caretaker mode. But we are as therapists. We always are.
Yeah, like somehow I feel responsible if their Wi-Fi drops and I'm like, oh no, like
Yeah.
I feel like somehow responsible. But yeah, anyway.
That
Yeah.
shouldn't be on you though.
No. No, that's irrational. But so I guess like it sounds like you want to explore this further and do some more in-person work.
Well, yeah, I had already kind of planned on, okay, I want to try to offer this, once every quarter, let's say, like every few months I'll come fly into New York as you know, and I don't think I've ever said this on our podcast, but I live in Toronto in Canada. But my practice is still virtually or just completely online. And I see all my clients are in New York or New Jersey. So my thought was that I would just fly in every couple of months, see my family, and go into the office for like a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
And after doing that this time, I do want to follow up on that, both
Mm-hmm.
from a curiosity perspective, just to see if this is, maybe it was different this one time and it was also like my first time in 5 years. So that's
Right.
a big deal. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if I'm answering your question exactly,
No, I
but
mean, yeah, it sounds
yeah.
like you want to keep exploring this.
Yeah.
Um, okay, well, I actually have to go because I have a meeting in a
I
minute.
do too, actually.
But this was a good debriefing, and we
Yeah,
will pick up again very soon.
we will. See you
Okay.
soon.
Bye.
Bye. You were just listening to Keeping Secrets, hosted by Sabrina Tropper and Julia Baum. If you like what you heard, leave us a review or a comment. We'd love to hear your suggestions, comments, questions, and topic requests. We do our best to respond to every single one, and you may even hear yours discussed in an upcoming episode. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel or wherever you listen to podcasts, and find us on Instagram and YouTube at Keeping Secrets Pod.
Keeping Secrets is the brainchild of Julia Baum and Sabrina Tropper, who also produced and directed this podcast. We're also responsible for all writing, research, graphic design, sound engineering, and video editing. Transcriptions by Riverside. As a reminder, this podcast does not constitute medical advice. While we strive to share the most accurate and up-to-date information, human error is to be expected, and this podcast is purely for entertainment purposes.